Let us pray.
Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the opportunity to gather here this evening. We're thankful for your many blessings, your grace and mercy. We pray that, Lord, we would honor you with all that is done and said today. We pray your hand and favor be upon the 7 individuals and our director as they meet tonight and the discussions that they have. Keep your favor on our community, on our families, on our school systems. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Collins. I call to order and welcome you to the Board of Education meeting for April the 11th. I would like to recognize some very special people in attendance tonight. We have Tom Cry, County Commission, Denny Collins, of course, where is Denny? County Commission, Cindy Slater, County Commission, Mylan Blake, County Commission. Did I miss any county commissioners? We also have Emily Beatty, Tennessee Republican State Committee Woman and Chairman of the Republican Party. Thank you so much for being here and supporting public education. Our pledge will be led by Amanda Lee. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Great job. Our first item of business will be the consent agenda. Does anyone have items to pull from the agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Dr. Lovingood makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Kaysen seconds the motion. Any discussion? Miranda, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Ted Bryson?
Yes.
Amanda Lee?
Yes.
Rachel Goins?
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen?
Yes.
Josh Taylor?
Yes.
Vicki Beatty?
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood?
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you. Ms. Reffner, do we have any persons requesting to address the board on agenda items?
No, we do.
Okay. We have no one to address the board, so we will go to the Director of Schools report, Dr. Linda Cash.
Thank you, and thank y'all for being here in a packed house. I do want to say there's so much going on this time of year, but I really wanted to highlight 2 items. And at this time, I would like to recognize Miss Hannah Goodson. She's the County Director and 4-H agent for the University of Tennessee Extension Office in Bradley County. And she's going to highlight her programs, and then we're going to honor some of our students who were winners.
Thank you for having me here tonight. I am extremely excited to highlight these students. These are just a couple of our winners. But Bradley County 4-H goes into 4th through 12th grades. We serve monthly lessons in the months of August through April with lessons that align with the standards in that grade. Within those lessons, we incorporate life skills such as decision-making, leadership, teamwork, and my personal favorite, public speaking. We highlight this in the classroom to prepare students not only for job interviews, but when they get into that job, when they go to the certification classes, trainings, etc. This year alone, we had 455 speeches presented in Bradley County classrooms, and that is a huge accomplishment for this year. We do serve 178 clubs per month. A club means just one class, so in the middle schools where there's 6 blocks, each block is a club. Out of those 455 speeches, 94 were invited to the sub-county level, and then out of those 94, 25 advanced to the county level. Out of those 25, there were 5 students, 4th through 8th grade, that were chosen to represent Bradley County 4-H in the multi-county public speaking contest. This multi-county group is called the SEC, or Southeastern Corner. It covers Bledsoe to Polk, and Bradley County always brings the heat, and I'm not just saying that because I'm the county agent, but every year Bradley County places first in several grades. Tonight I would like to recognize Miss Wren Parker. She's 4th grade at Black Fox Elementary, and Miss Sophia Hildebrand, who is 5th grade at Michigan Avenue Elementary. Now these young ladies, can we give a round of applause? Very nice. these young ladies and all the other students as well worked very hard. So not only did they have to write a speech in their classroom and then present it in front of their peers and their teacher, then they had to present it in front of the 4-H agent. Then they had to go to sub-county. Then they had to go to county and then multi-county. So they had to present a speech multiple times to get where they are, and they represented Bradley County so well. And we're so proud of them, and we're excited to see how they advance in the future. We also had a 7th grader who could not be here tonight, but Benton Stryker from Lake Forest Middle School also did very well at the multi-county contest, and we're excited to see where all of these students go in the future. This is not the end for them. This is just the beginning. Public speaking goes through 12th grade in 4-H, so we're excited to see them in the future as well. I want to congratulate these young ladies and thank not only the students to put in the hard work and effort, but the teachers and administration that support, and the families as well that support and do all the practices at home. So we really do appreciate you all in Bradley County 4-H. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Hannah, would you bring the girls back up for me, please? Not really trying to put them on the spot, but would you share with the board your experiences and what you thought about your 4-H and preparing for all those speeches?
What was your favorite thing about public speaking, or your speech? Just speaking in front of others. Okay, you can say that. Nope. Okay. So tell it. You said something like, tell them what your favorite thing or what you learned from this experience.
I just learned how to persevere and just to work as hard as I can in everything that I do.
Can you tell us what your speech was about?
My speech was about Walt Disney's Perseverance.
What was your speech about?
Olivia Weatherford.
Oh, that was two very nice, two very fine topics. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. And I want to say congratulations. I did get to see both of these young ladies compete several times, and it is a great experience. And as a matter of fact, I think they would be more comfortable up here than me. So public speaking is definitely an art.
Thank you again. And we also want to thank the 4-H and the Extension Program for all the things that you do in Bradley County. It's really important for us, and we appreciate your partnership. Next, one of the things I would really like to highlight is the mock crash from Bradley Central High School that we do so much, and we've had plays, we've had everything, but this one has gone above and beyond and gets better every year. We're going to play a little clip, and then I'm going to read you some information about it.
Hey man, y'all ready to go to this party? Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Number one location of your emergency.
Oh, it's bad. I need help. Please help me.
Okay, ma'am. Where are you at?
It's really bad.
Okay, where are you at?
It's Bradley. It's Bradley High School. It's
Okay.
bad. I need somebody.
Choices matter. Please buckle up.
But I think the most important thing is to know that this mock crash has statewide influence now. The film is routinely shown at all involved with the EMA, the fire and rescue, police, and all first responders. Local and state trainings. This film is used throughout our state. This year, in collaboration with the 24/7 movement and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, The video will be made available to all high schools across Tennessee. The Tennessee Highway Safety Organization and their program of Reduce Tennessee Crashes website is where it will be hosted. There's also resources available through the 24/7 movement. And Beth Vernon, program manager for THSO, said, and this is important, Bradley County always does things well. No other school comes close to the quality of mock crash than Bradley Central High School produces yearly. The finished product is used across the state in various and essential trainings and activities. I think my biggest thing is when I was talking to students, and I was asking about asking about a lot of things, but mock crash, and the statement was, it was so scary, and those were people I know. So it really made an impact on those students that were watching it. And if you haven't seen the entire video, I advise you to go on. We are really trying to make an awareness to our students and our families to be safe on the roads and to think and to put into practice what we really know they know. So thank y'all for letting me share that. I appreciate that. Madam Chairman, that's all I have. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to field them. I think we've got Dr. Wiggins here that could give you more information if you wanted to know. But the mock crash is an annual event at Bradley, and in that partnership, it will go statewide. So we just wanted to highlight that.
Any questions?
No, but I saw the video and it was class. I mean, it was well produced. The students were excellent. I mean, all of the tutors were great, but the little girl did a lot of the talking. I mean, she was a professional. They all were. I enjoyed seeing it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cash, and thank you, Hannah. Our next item, above and beyond recognition, Jeremy Jones.
Dr. Cash and Madam Chair and the school board representatives, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to take just a moment to highlight an exceptional individual from Valley View Elementary, Keith Hickson. Recently, we had a situation that took place within our community that showcased, I think, the professionalism and the law enforcement in our area and how they are trained and prepared to operate in a time of crisis. Yesterday, to give you a little bit of context before I read what was written on the above and beyond, but yesterday, Officer Keith Hickson was acknowledged by the Bradley County Sheriff Department as April's Patrol Employee of the Month. And it was stated by them that on February 12th, 2024, Deputy Hickson was finishing up his shift at Valley View Elementary School, where he is the school resource officer. He heard a call being dispatched regarding an unresponsive adult female at an address near the school. Deputy Hickson sprang into action and responded to the scene within minutes of the call coming in, ahead of everyone else. When he arrived at the residency, Deputy Hickson recognized the woman as the mother of one of the students that attends Valley View Elementary. He quickly assessed the situation and immediately began life-saving measures. Other deputies and EMS arrived a short time later to assist. The female was transported to a local hospital where she made a full recovery. A week later, she was seen dropping her child off at the school. Had it not been for his rapid response and quick thinking, the outcome could have been dramatically different. Now, Officer Keith Hickson doesn't really want to stand before you right now. And initially when I asked him if we could come before the board, he said no. And typically when a person with a badge and a gun says no, you listen. However, I reflected upon an early conversation that we had when he was brought on board as our school resource officer. And he stated to me that his first and foremost goal was to protect and serve the students at Valley View Elementary. But another top priority that he had was to shift the perspectives of the students in the school and have a positive daily experience with law enforcement. And so I challenged him. I asked him, would you be willing to come before them so that we could shine the spotlight on this situation? To which he agreed. Now, I bring him before you because I want to brag on him. I want to honor him. I'm proud that we get to work together and serve the students of Valley View Elementary. but he stands before you to continue to highlight the importance of law enforcement in and out of school. And in a society to where there are sometimes negative portrayed views of police officers. But he is an example of why we need law enforcement and the impact they have on us and those around us. On the certificate of Above and Beyond, it states, Student Resource Officer Keith Hickson exemplifies bravery and selflessness. When faced with an emergency, Officer Hickson's swift and decisive actions made all the difference. His unwavering dedication to serving and protecting the community was on full display as he rushed to the aid of an unconscious person, demonstrating remarkable composure and professionalism throughout the ordeal. His quick thinking and expert knowledge undoubtedly played a crucial role in reviving the individual, showcasing his exceptional skills as a law enforcement officer. Officer Hickson's unwavering commitment to ensuring the safety and well-being of those at Valley View School and Valley View community serves as an inspiration to us all, reminding us of the profound impact one individual can have in times of crisis. His heroism serves as a beautiful example to students of Valley View, embodying the true essence of service and sacrifice. And so, Officer Hickson, is with joy that I give to you that you have went above and beyond. And as a community, we recognize that and honor that and the law enforcement that serve us each and every day. Will you please give him a round of applause? Sheriff Lawson did want me to mention that he hates that he was not able to be here tonight. When he came and did a tour of our school, we talked about this, and he had much to say about Officer Hickson, and Chief Stone is here just as representation of the department. So thank you, Chief Stone, for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Our next item, ATS The Bridge Student Ambassador Presentation, Sandra Welch and Jared Waldrop. Jared, okay.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here tonight. And as he's getting the presentation ready, we just want to share with you some insight into our ambassador program that we have in the schools. It's a vital part of what ATS The Bridge does, and I believe a growing vital part of our community. And it's so good to see so many positive things coming from our school system that's affecting our community in such amazing ways. I believe that this is a growing part of that as well. Because as we talk about the problem with drugs, and it's a big problem, we need laws, need more laws. We need people held accountable. We need enforcement. We need drugs off the streets, and that takes measures and arrests. But I think one of the things that we need the most is for a young generation to speak up and to take a stand and to be the ones that are going to say, we recognize what's going on, we're aware of the dangers, we see what's happening, and that's not going to be us anymore. That's not going to be how we're going to choose to live our lives. And I think there's a growing number in our community that are beginning to stand up. And the great thing about our ambassadors, there's 170 plus that are involved in our area schools. And it's growing every time that we go to a different school and present. Student after student will come and say, hey, how can I sign up? How can I be a part of this? Testimonial after testimonial, hey, I've just gotten clean, or I've seen what it's done to my family, or I want to help. And the number continues to grow. It started really over COVID when everything shut down. ATS The Bridge had to keep getting the message out there. So Xandra started grabbing children, family members, anybody, younger ones that she could, just being able to get the message out there via social media. And those young ones started growing the next couple years. and still wanted to be involved, still wanted to be a part of the message. And we had a conversation and realized that, kids are a vital piece of awareness, of getting the message out there and being a part of a movement. So in this presentation, I'm going to show you a little bit about what it means to be an ambassador. Show you some of our videos, because some of you may have not have seen them. These videos involve our ambassadors, so you'll see a number of them throughout some of these videos. I'm going to start with really the first video that we put together for the first time that we sponsored one of the football games at Bradley High School. This aired, and it revolves around the fentanyl crisis.
Drugs end all dreams.
Drugs end all dreams.
Drugs end all dreams.
Drugs end all dreams. It's true, drugs do end all dreams, but not mine.
But not my dream.
But not my dream.
Not our dream.
Not our dream.
Not my dream.
But not my dream.
It's true. Drugs end all dreams, but not mine. Don't let drugs be your dead end. Choose to live drug-free. Dream big.
Dream big.
Dream big. Dream big.
Dream big. Drugs are a dead end. Dream big.
We're choosing to dream big and live drug-free.
Live drug-free and dream big.
Don't let drugs be your dead end.
So that was one of our first videos that we put together, where we put a lot of effort into it, got a lot of kids involved, and I don't know how many times it's been viewed, but it's been viewed a lot. And it's neat, anytime that we go into a middle school or an elementary school, watching some of these younger ones, when they see faces that they know and watch them light up, and they see these ambassadors as examples, students they look up to. And so what it means to be an ambassador is, it comes down to commitment. It's committing to living a drug-free life and saying, I'm not ashamed of that. I'm going to commit to keeping myself free of any sort of substance use, because that matters. And then a commitment to be an example to those around you. And as this rolls forward, we hear about conversations that students are having with each other, about teammates that are holding other teammates accountable, about students that are stepping up and taking this commitment seriously. And so throughout this presentation, you'll see images of different groups of ambassadors and their involvement in our schools.
AP, not everyone's doing it. It's not worth it. I refuse to be a statistic.
Be a voice. Remind your friends. Not everyone is doing it.
It's not worth it. I refuse to be a statistic.
Not everybody's doing it.
Vaping? No way. There's too much on the line.
Be a voice. Remind your friends.
Not everyone's doing it.
I refuse to be a statistic.
Be a voice. Remind your friends.
Not everybody's doing it.
Be a voice. Remind your friends. Not everybody's doing it.
Not everybody's doing it.
Vaping use for students has tripled, but I refuse to be a statistic.
Not an option.
Over 2 million middle school and high school students vape, but not me.
Stand up, be a voice. Not everybody's doing it.
I refuse to be a statistic. Not everybody's doing it.
Stand up. Be a voice. Not everyone's doing it.
Student drug use is at an all-time high. Teens are vaping, using dab pens at an alarming rate. They're getting sick, they're getting in trouble, and they're getting addicted. But despite the news, you know what? Not everybody's doing it.
As an elementary education major, I've been studying about the development of kids' brains. It is so important that we shield them from vaping and any other nicotine use. Nicotine affects every part of the brain. Parents, let's be aware. Let's protect our kids.
Just some more examples of students getting involved and from a longer form video to short clips that utilized on social media. Being able just as much as we can get the message out there, and with that video where they're talking about not everybody's doing it, the problem is showcased so much that it gets overwhelming. We feel like it's so key to instill hope in the middle of all of this and help people realize, there's a lot. It's a big problem, but there are students that aren't doing it. Not everybody's doing it. And when peers understand, hey, I'm not alone if I'm making a choice to not be a part of this, it's going to help them stand up, especially when they start standing together. And then it begins slowly to turn the tide when peer pressure becomes positive peer pressure. And so we believe in this ambassador movement. Our ambassadors are involved in the creation of all the school campaigns. So whether it's the Stand Up campaign that is going this year, or the Drugs End All Dreams from last year, when it comes to the graphics and when it comes to the swag and the fonts and the styles, the campaign slogans, they're directly involved in helping steer that, because we think it's important for them to have their voice involved.
Opioid addiction and the spread of fentanyl are on the rise at an alarming rate.
Every 5 to 7 minutes.
Someone in the United States dies of a drug overdose.
That's over 107,000 people in a year.
In a year. That's like wiping out all
Of Cleveland and Bradley County.
According to the American Lung Association, each day,
over 6,100 students under the age of 18 vape for the very first time.
We're talking about student nicotine addiction.
student nicotine addiction.
Student nicotine addiction and THC use.
Vaping is not a safe alternative to cigarettes.
Vaping is just as addictive.
Just as dangerous. Vaping can be deadly.
Let that sink in.
It's time to stop pretending like this isn't a problem.
It's time to stand up.
It's time to stand up.
It's time to stand up.
For your family.
For your friends.
For your teammates.
For your teammates.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time to stand up.
For those who don't have the strength to stand alone. It's time to stand up.
I won't let substance abuse dictate my story.
Because this is my life.
This is my life.
My life.
My life.
And this is your life.
Your life.
This is your life.
We're tired of drugs ending our dreams and destroying our generation, so we're taking a stand. Will you stand with us?
So that's the campaign video from this school year. And, this school year, we saw such an influx of students really wanting to be involved and be a part of everything that's been going on the side of awareness, to the point where students are so involved in production, in helping at events, setting up, tearing down, manning booths, making sure that people get handouts and get, the kids call it the swag that we give out. And then being on campus, whether it's putting on a giant bear costume and going into kindergarten and first grade classrooms and helping spread a message even to our little ones about drug awareness, or standing up in front of hundreds of middle schoolers at a time, which can be very intimidating, and talking about their experience and giving insight. So they're very involved on a campus level and a community level. And really, we look at it as it's building community. Community between schools, because all three schools, high schools, are involved, all three middle schools involved. And then not just that, but building our community, because that's really what this is about. It's about building a better Bradley County. And these kids are actively part of that. And then when we talk about impact, I love that first picture there. You've got those little guys there waving those flags. And to me, what that represents is that message is reaching home, and it's reaching younger. And to see little ambassadors like that is a good sign that they're going to take a message with them as they grow up, because healthy elementary school kids turn into healthy middle school, and healthy middle school turns into healthy high school. Everything perfect? No, because that's life. But what we can do is continue to help steer them in the right direction to make healthy choices. And it's good to see that even at young ages, they're receiving this message and taking it to heart. And why is it important to stand up? I think that video, which is a sobering video, showcases why. Because our communities, not just here, but everywhere, has a problem with teen drug use. And when you think about 100 yards worth of vapes, just under 700 confiscated, that we were able to get our hands on, thanks to the SROs, after a lot of them had already been destroyed. But working with them, we came up with a visual so that people could understand the gravity of the situation and why it's so important to have these conversations and to talk, and why it's so important that these students are stepping up, because those trends can't continue. Because if they do, you got to realize every one of those vapes represents a story, and those stories are changing lives for the worse as they're making poor decisions. And so it's time to turn the tide. And with our ambassadors, in cooperation with city and county schools together, I think it's such a beautiful thing to see everybody working together. An anti-vape campaign that's going community-wide. Probably started to see billboards, and you're going to see even more on social media. Our ambassadors are going to have a big part of that with radio spots that you're going to hear on Mix 104, and just involved in really making a strong push for everybody to hear this message and understand that, hey, things have to change. We got to get a message of anti-drug use, anti-vaping out there, because it's damaging people. But then we also like to have a lot of fun. And this is just some shots of the Ambassador Jam that we had not too long ago, where we just celebrated our ambassadors' involvement and just had a lot of fun. If you know Xandra, everything is going to be a big party. It's going to be decorated. It's going to look good. She goes all out. So she did her thing, and the kids had a lot of fun, and all three high schools represented there together. And just think that that's an important part, not just working together, but having fun together as well. And then with our ambassadors, we also want to invest in their future, and we have an opportunity for them to apply for a scholarship, and we award a scholarship per school to a graduating senior that's been an ambassador with us throughout their high school careers. And I actually have three of our ambassadors. This is Zeke and Caitlin and Holden. And you guys come on up, and we've got our ambassadors here. They're representing a few of our students that we have. We're going to let them just kind of share. And so you guys just want to pass the mic? Let's do that. So here's just some questions for you guys. Why is being an ambassador important? Why do you see it as something that's important to be a part of?
Well, I believe being an ambassador at my school is important because for me personally, I'm a student athlete at Walker Valley High School, and I know, I'm not trying to sound arrogant in any way, but I know I have a voice and a face in my school, and I know that people hear my voice and the things I do. So if I try to do that in a negative way, then people will maybe follow me or see that in a negative way and think that's okay to do. So since I know that Xandra's put together this amazing organization and I'm able to be a part of it, I think it's important to spread awareness and to bring the people along with me, hopefully, because I don't want to talk down on anybody if I see them doing that, but I want them to know that we're in this together and that we're all students and we all have our struggles, and I know the goods and bads of vaping and THC use, and I hope that they can just come along with me and they know that it's okay, but I want them to know that what they're doing to themselves is harmful and that it can really change them in a negative way. So I think it's important to just be heard and know that people hear me no matter what.
I think it's important because I know a lot of the younger, being a senior, I know a lot of younger underclassmen look up to me. I know that it's important for them to see that through high school, like, I've had fun and I've stayed away from all that, and I think it's important for them to see that you can go through high school and you can just stay away from that and still have fun and get through high school.
Being an ambassador for me is it means to me you need to help people see that it's not cool or anything like that, and it's just people just do it these days to just look cool, and it's just to help them guide them away from all the bad stuff in high school.
So another question that we'd ask tonight, what kind of things have you guys been involved with as ambassadors? What have you done, in school settings, different things? Tell them what you've been a part of.
So we've been involved with, Jared comes and speaks, I think he's came twice now to our school, and we go in there and we kind of stand in the front while he talks to our schools and gives presentations to each grade. So that's one thing we do. We just go and sit, and after he presents, people come up and talk to us, ask us questions, and we've been able to have people want to be ambassadors from just seeing us up there and things of that nature. I personally, I know you might have saw the picture, he mentioned the bear that Timby the bear that we talked to the kindergarten through second graders with, and I wore that suit at Parkview. It was fun. It was cool to see the elementary schoolers and their just joys of reading the book and then seeing me in real life and knowing that it's okay, not okay, but just the awareness that we spread for addiction. And it wasn't drugs or anything of that nature. It was just laying the ground down to them, And at the end, they mentioned the party that Xandra throws for us. She definitely gets us right with things, We're blessed to have her. And so, yeah, that's about it that I can think of.
I've been an ambassador for several years now. I've gone to Ocoee Middle School. I've gone to a couple elementary schools. I've talked to, where did we go the other day? Okay, Black Fox, we went to on Monday, and I talked to 4th and 5th graders, and that was always fun. I've also been to several events with Xandra, and I've done several videos with her.
Yeah, you get to be in videos and just be a voice, and then I've also had to wear the bear for other people. So yeah, you do a lot, and it's fun. You get cool stuff to wear. A main thing that I know we watched all those videos right there, but in the beginning of the school year it was football season, and we did the big thing for I had just became an ambassador about in December, the end of October actually, sorry. And I saw the ATS The Bridge sponsored the Walker Valley Bradley football game, and I was like, what's that? Everybody was asking what it is and things of that nature, and so that's a big thing we do, I think, sponsor the football games. And after, I go to Walker Valley, and we lost, but that's okay. But the next week at school, I saw a ton of people wearing the shirts and everything like that. So I think it's just important to know that life's bigger than sports, and we were able to spread that through the games. And I know it was really big at the Bradley versus Cleveland game too. So,
yeah. So anything else you guys want to add? Any other comments that you guys have?
You guys? I'll say something. So, I know that I just thank y'all for having us today, because I know you guys are the face of our schools, and even though we don't, I guess, represent Cleveland High School, we really do represent Cleveland, and we're all in this together. It's so much bigger than just school by school. I think as a community, Cleveland, we can really take off with ATS The Bridge, and we appreciate what you guys help us with, and I appreciate Xandra for everything she does for us too, and just throughout our schools and community, because like I said, I think we can take off with this bigger than Cleveland, bigger than our community, and really make a change. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
If I may say something, I know we have a lengthy agenda, but I just wanted to share with you guys how proud I am of our community as a whole, fellow board members in the schools, and our director for partnering with ATS. For those that don't know, I have 3 children in high school locally, and I had seen on social media a post that you guys have made about just talking with your kids. And so that evening I sat down to talk with my kids, and they began to quote to me a lot of the statistics and the things that you guys have already shared with them. And so I really appreciate that, because just to let you know, your message is important, and it's being received. So thank you guys very much.
Any other comments?
I'd like to say something. I think for me, what's important is just seeing it's exciting to see the young adults standing up against substance use that ends so many dreams. I think another part of this is what students don't understand is it doesn't just end their dreams, it ends their parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, dreams that they had for them when they start using drugs. And ultimately, if it ends badly. So their choices impact not just them, but everyone that loves them. So I am very honored to be a part of the ATS The Bridge and love it that they're partnering with Bradley County Schools and even Cleveland City Schools. I love what they do and I love what they stand for. And I want to be Zandra when I grow up.
Thank you, Ms. Goins. Our next item is permission to pursue purchase of electronic sign. Chris Green. If you guys need to leave. Yeah.
They haven't even yet at Walker Valley.
Okay.
As they're leaving, I just wanted to say they were, ATS The Bridge and Caitlin and Jared and Zandra were at Black Fox on Monday speaking to our 4th and 5th graders, and it was a great presentation. They asked a lot of questions afterwards, but it was funny the next day, Officer Henry, who's our SRO, did the lead program, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry that took me so long, but whatever they talk, and he was in the presentation, but they just kept wanting to ask questions and questions, and it was just, it just opened up a lot of conversation in the PE class with the PE teacher, just lots of great conversation, and those kids are awesome, and obviously you guys know that as well. But, Board, Madam Chairman, Dr. Cash, good evening. I'm here tonight to ask for the board's approval in moving forward in the process of purchasing and installing an electronic sign at Black Fox Elementary. The Black Fox PTO will cover the entire cost of this project, so we are just asking permission to add the sign to the grounds. I've spoken with Cleveland Utilities, Johnny Mole, and Chuck McKay to make sure that they would be able to install it in our preferred location, and they all agreed that that is quite doable. I have spoken to some schools and churches that have recently purchased signs to get an idea of specs and costs, but have not begun speaking specifically to sign companies yet. With your approval, we would begin that immediately and hopefully get the ball rolling so that we could have the sign up and running by next school year.
Okay, do I have a motion to grant Mr. Green permission to pursue and purchase an electronic sign for Black Fox Elementary?
I'll make a motion to approve and allow Mr. Green to move forward with the purchase of the sign at Black Fox.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion?
How much does it cost?
Well,
we need to know. A lot. Parents are spending a lot of money too.
Yes, sir. So, like I said, I haven't gone to specific sign companies. I have asked around with colleagues, right. And from what I can gather, $25,000 to $35,000 is what it has been. Now, granted, everything's gone up the last couple of years, but we're comfortable we can fall into that range or into that $35,000 range, and our PTO has the budget for that.
That's amazing.
Okay, Miranda, will you call the roll?
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Vicki Beatty.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no. Motion passes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Happy hunting.
Our next item, bids. Ellen Smith.
Yes, tonight I have the copy paper for the upcoming school year. After looking at the state contract with American Paper and Twine and the bids that came in for like the current school year, the price is $39.90. That's better than the prices that came in on last year's bids. So the recommendation is to go with the state contract with American Paper and Twine. They've provided our paper for several years and we have been very happy with their service.
Do I have a motion to approve the bid for copy paper with American Paper and Twine?
I'll make a motion we approve the bid for the copy paper. Can other schools buy some at that price too?
Yes, this is.
We want more than what the county.
Yes, this is good for the district allocation as well as any above and beyond that the instructional department wants to pay for.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Ms. Kaysen. Any further discussion or questions? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Vicki Beatty.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Dr. Lovingood.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item, Bradley Central High School Security Vestibule Construction Contract for Approval and Execution. Corbett Drew.
Good evening, and want to caveat that we're not asking for the final approval of everything today. The draft of the contract that went into your packet was not final. yet. We have since finalized and gotten Mr. Bennett's comments, negotiated those with the contractor and incorporated those. And we are in the process. The bids came in much higher than the budget. We're in the process of driving that down. And so once we finalize that, then we'll circulate the final draft of the contract. So I guess the request tonight would be, instead of having to wait till the May meeting, which would put us after August 1st completing the project, we would like to ask the board for executive approval to once we finalize the number and the contract, circulate it and ask for executive approval for it to be approved out of cycle before the next board meeting, so that we can get it in before the start of school.
Okay, my understanding, have we approved the security vestibule project?
Yes, you approved that. It was actually in the capital outlay from this past year, so it has been approved. It is coming in higher, but and we can go back to the finance office, but it is, we have, please correct me if I'm incorrect, 625 that is allotted. We are looking for that to come in under that cost with driving it down, but it has been approved. This is about the contract with the architect and the contract.
The contract with the construction company.
Contract with the construction company, and
It's
we
Lincoln
are.
Bradley safer.
Pardon?
Safer. It's a safety issue.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. So the only thing that I'm going to kind of restate it, what we are asking is approval for the construction contract as an executive order, because we just got the final one in. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And we're still finalizing the number.
Right.
Okay, do I have a motion? Go ahead, I'm
I
sorry.
just have a question. I'm sorry, Chair. What was the actual cost that came in that was above the initial?
So the lowest bid was $645,000.
Okay.
And we are in the process of value engineering that at this point. We've gotten it down to about 580. We're trying to get it down to 550. And without compromising the security and safety of what we're building.
Thank you.
Okay, I will reword this a little bit, but it basically is, do I have a motion to approve the construction contract by executive approval pending the finalization of the contract and board members being notified?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a second? No, do I have a motion? I guess I made the motion, didn't I?
Yes, well, I will make your motion.
Okay. I was rewording it, so.
And I'm so glad you read it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Kaysen, a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bryson. Any further discussion? Okay, Miranda, will you call the roll?
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovington.
Yes.
Vicki Beatty.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item is expansion approval for Hopewell Elementary School pending resolution for funding from the County Commission. Dr. Cash.
Yes, ma'am. This is actually an update of where we are, and then we will move to approval. But from our last meeting, I have requested from the County Commission funding for the Hopewell project, funding for the track and field, and I am requesting that to let you know that once they have approved the funding, it would come back to this board for continuation of the project. So we have sent it to the County Commission as a request. They are working on a resolution. So once that resolution has been approved, we'll come back for final approval from this board.
Any questions, comments? Thank you, Dr. Cash.
You're welcome.
The next item is Hopewell Elementary. Pardon me?
We don't have to do nothing on
No,
that.
she was just giving us an update,
No,
correct?
sir, but we will, once we have,
Yes, we know.
once the resolution is passed, we will come back for full approval.
Got you.
The next item is Hopewell Elementary School GEO Services proposal for approval and execution. Corbett Drew.
Good evening again.
You're on here several times.
And I appreciate your patience. One of the initial steps before we can launch into design on any of these projects is to get an accurate survey of the existing conditions and to do a geotechnical exploration and get a geotechnical report to identify any issues with the soil and design the foundations. And so this would be kind of one of the first steps towards launching into design on these projects. And so we have a proposal from GeoServices to do the geotechnical investigation and make recommendations for the Hopewell footings.
So GeoServices is the name of the company?
GeoServices is the name of the company, the vendor, the provider. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Hopewell GeoServices agreement?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the Hopewell Elementary School GeoServices proposal.
Motion made by Ms. Kaysen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bryson. Any further discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Our next item, I think, is Corbett Drew as well. Ocoee Middle School CDC expansion, Cope Architects contract.
Yes, ma'am. You guys, we did an RFP for architectural services, gave the administration kind of a chance to meet and greet some of these different and different design teams. And we chose Cope. You guys approved Cope at the last meeting for the Ocoee expansion, given their history at the project. We've since negotiated their contract and have it before you today. This would be the architectural. This would include all the architectural and engineering fees to affect construction documents and construction administration for the CDC expansion at Ocoee.
Do I have a motion to approve the contract with Cope for Ocoee Middle School?
I make a motion, we approve the contract for the special ed building at Ocoee Middle.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Our next item is expansion approval for Parkview Elementary School and Waterville Community Elementary. Dr. Cash.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is just a request for approval for the expansions and of Parkview Elementary and Waterville Community Elementary. I would also like to add to that we, once we have approval of the projects, that we move to a work session to determine order of construction and timelines. So currently I'm asking for the approval of Parkview Elementary and Waterville Elementary Schools expansions.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the expansion for Parkview Elementary and Waterville Community with a work session to determine timelines and order?
Motion to approve.
Pardon me?
Make a motion.
Dr. Lovingood makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Taylor. Any discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Okay, we're coming back to Corbett Drew again, Parkview Elementary School GeoServices proposal.
Again, same as Hopewell, this would be to affect a geotechnical exploration and understand the soil conditions in the area targeted for expansion as a precursor to design.
Do I have a motion to approve the Parkview Elementary GeoServices agreement?
I make a motion to approve the Parkview GeoServices proposal agreement.
Mr. Taylor makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Kaysen. Any further discussion or questions? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Our next item I told you that Corbett was going to be staying with us for a long time. Waterville Elementary School portables contract for modular lease. Mr. Drew.
The timeframe for construction from the time a project is released until an expansion is completed and the certificate of occupancy is in hand and we have students occupying that facility is north of 24 months, 20 to 24 months. And so with that in mind, we need an interim solution at Waterville, and the proposal before you is to add 2 portable classrooms, one building, but 2 portable classrooms near the footprint, but not in the footprint of the proposed expansion. That would allow us to, it would help the logistics of the expansion, but it would also alleviate their spatial needs in the short term.
Do I have a motion to approve the portables and contract agreement with Box Modular for Waterville Community Elementary School?
I'll make a motion to approve the portables at Waterville.
A motion by Ms. Lee, a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Taylor. Any further discussion? Yes,
Can I ask one
Dr.
question?
Lovington.
Dr. Cash, do we have a time for removal of the portables? Are they, so they're just not going to be there forever? We're going to have.
That is correct. There is a, well, obviously depending on construction,
Yes, ma'am.
would be that, but there is, in the clause, there is a removal of the portables. What we are hoping is that in a timely manner, they can be used efficiently, but they will be removed. They will not be there forever, depending on this board's directions.
Well, I would hope they would not be, so we want permanent solutions. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking for permanent
And
solutions.
the principals can't keep them.
No, nor can anyone ask for them.
Corbett, is there I was reading over the contract, and I think I'd asked about this earlier. Is there a termination clause? I know that it's a 36-month lease. If we were to get construction done prior to the 36 months and wanted to remove those, is there?
I do not have that information yet.
Okay.
So I'll report back to you.
We'll just check on that.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Penalties and all that would be.
Any other questions? I think I have a motion and a second. Miranda, will you call the roll?
Ted Bryson?
Yes.
Amanda Lee?
Yes.
Rachel Goins?
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen?
Yes.
Josh Taylor?
Yes.
Vicky Beatty?
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood?
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
I think we're coming back to Corbett Drew, Waterville Elementary School portables architect contract.
So the portables, even though there's a manufacturer, they're engineered and manufactured off-site and brought on-site. We still have to present site plan, life safety, ADA access, and specifications for the fire alarm to be tied in. So and it has to go through the State Fire Marshal's office for review. So we have gotten an architect. We've gotten a proposal from MTA Architects. Matthew Twitchell is a Cleveland resident, Bradley County resident, and he's done a number of portables for other schools and understands that process really well. And we would retain him to prepare those documents for approval by the State Fire Marshal.
Do I have a motion to approve the architect contract with MTA for portables at Waterville Community?
I make a motion to approve the architect approval for the Waterville portables.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Amanda Lee?
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood?
Yes.
Vicky Beatty?
Yes.
Josh Taylor?
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen?
Yes.
Rachel Goins?
Yes.
Ted Bryson?
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you.
Mr. Drew, you may be seated for the remainder of the meeting. I think.
Yes.
The next item, Walker Valley High School bleacher purchase, Kyle Page.
Madam Chair, Board, good to see everybody. So Walker Valley bleachers, we've been back and forth on this one some time, and we've had two different TIPS contractors now chime in. The first TIPS contractor came in, they were a company out of Kentucky, and they came in much higher than what was budgeted. The budgeted number was $275,000. And I reached out.
How much higher was it?
The other number came in at $316,000. roughly right around $315 something and change. I did reach out to a contractor that we have worked with and had good, but also had an issue specifically with the Bradley Tennis Courts fence that we're still resolving forward. That said, these are bleacher specific, so it's the same contractor that did the both of the turf football fields as well as both tennis courts. He is in tips and has a bleacher vendor that he works with. So the bleacher vendor is Southeastern Bleachers, and they're Southeastern Seating. They have looked at things, they have reviewed it, and they feel like they can do the project for $298,000 and $298,060, I believe, is what.
$950.
Yes, thank you. What they have put in. With that said, they also, from the construction side, do the site work, so they would be doing the site work in preparation for those, and then the bleacher contractor that they would be subbing to would actually be doing the bleachers specifically. So it's at the pleasure of the board, just trying to give options. When we saw that number come in at the height that did, we looked for other options, and we're open to suggestions.
No, go ahead, Mr. Rice.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Would this be, remember we had this, not disagreement, but
Yes.
agreement about the bleachers. Would this be what we talked, one set as tall as
This would be
those on
both
each side?
sides, both sides. The span that was quoted from the other company was both sides as well. Their span for total span was 153 feet. This company actually cuts theirs a little bit longer, and so it would be nothing custom, already cut. Their whole span goes to 158 feet is their span. So it's actually an addition of 5 feet. The other note in the way they looked at things a little different, so I want to go ahead and note this, is they compared one of the things, and Corbett can speak to this as well, but when we looked at the existing bleachers that are there, they have the pylon footers that are driven down into the ground. You have grass growing up under, and you've got the pylons that the steel sits down on. This company looked at it differently and said they would rather take and do full slabs, much like the bleachers that you have out in the band section at Walker Valley, where they're fully slabbed underneath. It's all concrete, and then the bleacher system erects from there. They've looked at it. They said it will still tie in, but you'll have slabs underneath rather than the big pylon footers that are driven down. They said that is a more costly way of doing the project. So both are structurally sound. Engineers are going to look at it either way, but it's at the pleasure of the board.
Dr. Cash? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Dr. Cash.
For clarity, I want to be sure, because I'm looking at a cost that is $290,950. Is that for both sections?
That's for both sections.
And then, in addition to the cost for the bleachers themselves, we have fees for installation and architects?
That includes everything. That is full project. That is so the company that works with Turf of America, the construction side of that, has the drawings. They stamp the drawings just like they did with the football fields, okay? So they stamped those drawings and submitted those. The same thing would be done here. That would be both additions on each side, as well as they noted that they would also come in and make sure our bleachers meet code that are currently existing. They do not have handrails, so they would install the handrails to make sure that side meets code, as well as reinstall the ramp and the steps down on both sides of that project.
And did you say 290 or 298?
298.
950.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Lovingen, I'm sorry.
I have several questions here. One is, it seems like this turf company is becoming a middleman for a lot of different things. They were the middleman for the tennis courts, right? Because they didn't do tennis courts.
Correct.
And now they're the middleman for bleachers because they don't do bleachers. You called a company in Kentucky that does bleachers for real, and now we're at $18,000 difference between the company that does bleachers for a living and a middleman who's contracting out a company that doesn't do bleachers for a living, but they contract a company that does do bleachers. And we're talking about $18,000 for a middleman that's doing work and he doesn't have a good reputation. And my concern is, and I'm all for us, and I love us having
Yes,
bleachers
sir.
at Walker Valley, and I'm for those bleachers.
Yes, sir.
But I do not want to spend money with this company again and have a hiccup again.
100% agree.
Because we just can't afford it. I mean, I love us, $18,000 is a lot of money, but when you got $299,000 and $316,000, my high math, Amanda helped me this a while ago, she said that's $18,000 difference. And it is, I just want to make sure,
Agree.
and I know, I'm not dogging
Yes,
anybody,
no,
but we got to make a good decision here because we can't say, uh-oh.
The one other concern that also led us to looking for other locations was the timing of the project. And Corbett, you can speak to this, you were there as well. The company out of Kentucky was looking at not being able to schedule this until October. Obviously, we're in football season long before then. I am aware, I've looked at the schedule, that we don't have, Walker Valley is not hosting the big ones this year with
With all
Bradley.
due respect, and I'm not trying to interrupt you, I did
No.
interrupt you, but I'm not trying to.
It's okay.
I'd rather, with these bleachers gonna be around for a long time.
Yes, sir.
2 football games, bless our hearts, ain't gonna be that big of a difference. We wanna make sure it's done well.
Correct.
Done
If they're-
right, because we're talking about a lot of money for our community.
If they're not gonna be playing big games at first, they could probably do without.
I'm just putting all the information on the table
Okay.
for us all to
I-
make best
I
decisions.
wanna talk about Walker Valley's bleachers. I'm 100% for 'em. I do care what they cost, cause I'm a taxpayer too, but I love Bradley High School, and we're approving things at Bradley High School that are over budget. And I'm just saying, I represent the whole school system. I think they both have needs. Bradley's got some needs we're gonna work on, that whatever, but so does Walker Valley have needs.
So there's a $43,000,
No, 18.
18,000.
well, if we go with
Well, the original
298,
budget
but
was-
what was?
The original budget was
$275.
So it's about $41,000 difference
Okay.
over budget. So.
That one was 41,000 over. This one is about 23,000
Correct.
over.
If we were to go with them.
Yes.
So did the Kentucky company have a different approach? You said this company was gonna do the concrete slabs. Did the Kentucky company have a different?
They had a
approach?
pylon approach to it. They were going back when and doing the same existing. So you would have continued the pylon approach outside in the additional spans,
And
different than what.
The pylon is a more expensive foundation.
Correct.
Is it considered to be a superior foundation?
I would have to turn to somebody that is a little more advanced.
Well,
in
I
that.
thought we were not bringing him back.
I have 2 more appearances, I get walk-up music, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
The company from Kentucky, their proposal was to match the existing, match and extend the existing. Then we can certainly re-engage the Kentucky company and see if there's an alternate, less expensive option if the slab and standing bleachers. Structurally, there's not a difference. There's going to be engineers that sign off, that design it and sign off on either of those systems. One is not better, one matches the existing, but from the field and from, I don't know that your backside will notice the difference, if we're being quite candid. So
Okay.
they won't
Ms.
visit
Collins?
visually from the field. I don't think you'll see a difference, and it's not going to function any differently. So we can certainly reach back out to the Kentucky vendor and look for alternatives.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why can't we just cut the middleman out?
Do what?
So
Why can't we just cut the middleman out and talk to them directly?
So understood what Dr. Lovingood asked. The Kentucky group only does bleachers. There's site work that's still going to have to happen that is not necessarily in. There's work by others that is still going to have to happen with that quote. That said, the other guy does the work by others. That they have a construction company that does the pre-work and lead up to that.
The Turf of America.
Turf of
Yes.
America is going to like subcontract that.
Yes.
Okay.
My other question is, in the demo part, why
Yes.
are we dismantling the existing bleachers when we're only adding the wings?
So on the existing bleachers, you have a fence that comes down the outside for protection. You also have a ramp that goes up on one side, and you have steps that go up on both sides. All that stuff has to come off to tie the steel together for the new bleachers that will be put on.
Maybe they should just reword that.
Understood.
If it were to be the pleasure of this board to go back to the Kentucky group, Dr. Lovingood, that was your comment, what would that involve?
Madam Chair, could I ask Corbett to come back up for just a minute, please? In looking at both of the companies that are working with the bleachers, understanding that one is contracting out, is there any difference in the operation or the structure of the bleachers that would impede us from moving forward?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So as you and Kyle worked with both of these companies, you are comfortable with Turf of America and the bid that they've given us to be secure and ready, and you would be on site watching and being sure things were installed?
Yes, ma'am.
And their timeline is?
They're working on schedule, depending on the
Okay.
direction of the board.
And then-
They said they could get it in prior.
And then the Kentucky group, with the price that they've given us, we would still have to add to the budget for site work, is that correct?
There would still be some prep on the front end, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you.
They look, you can't tell the difference.
You will,
I mean, a novice couldn't be said, oh, bleachers are ugly. They don't even
No,
look
sir.
like.
from the field, there'll be no discernible difference.
So just to clarify, you're talking if we went with the Kentucky company, that it would be the 316 plus some additional site work? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit of additional site work, yes, ma'am.
With a little?
When you equate that to money.
There's some grading that has to happen to prep that space. There's some things that have to happen that were not within their scope.
That's right. They had some exclusions in theirs where Turf of America did not have any exclusions. Both cut out the middleman. To your point, these are both TIPS contractors, and the idea was, the notion was, or the intent was to go with TIPS contractors to expedite the entirety of the process and get them in. And when we realized that the first TIPS contractor had exclusions and we're not going to be able to have them in before the season started, we found a second. And this conversation is prevailing. This second bid just came in today, or second proposal. So we can certainly clarify everything with both and bring it back to the board.
Will it delay the time they're finished more?
Well, Kentucky can't get in until October,
Well, their
correct?
first 2 or 3 games, they said, are big games.
They're not.
What?
They're not big games,
They're not
The
quite.
Bradley,
Madam
Cleveland
Chair.
games are not at Walker Valley this year.
Okay, they're not.
Dr. Cash?
So that helps.
With installation and knowing that we have games happening at Walker Valley on the field, would the installation impede people using that side if there's a construct?
It would be about 2 weeks of, once the bleachers are manufactured and staged nearby, it would be about 2 weeks to complete the assembly on site and the demo and assembly on site that's necessary. And so if there's a series of, and I don't want to say 2 weeks, I would say if there's a series of 3 away games in their schedule, it could be accomplished over that. That would give us a month and a little bit of breathing room because things can go wrong. But if it would impede the use of those. We would have to stage it in a way that one side was added and the other side the access to the existing would be from one side only. And then we could open up one side but that would extend the construction period probably. There are ways around it, but you would likely lose the use of it.
Dr.
temporarily.
Lovingood?
In all due respect, I think, and I'm all for the bleachers, and I'm excited about the bleachers, and I'm excited about next year's football season. I love football as much as anybody does. But I just think there's some clarity that we need to have here.
No doubt.
And I'm for it, and I think we have a good team and system. But I would make a motion for us to go back and get clarity from both companies dirt work, because one didn't include dirt work, and we have a $316,000 bid, and one $299. But I would like clarity of what all that involves, and just the scope of understanding what's gonna happen. I'll make a motion, if that's okay, for us to do that and come back with that process.
Maybe add that to the work.
Okay, so the motion.
You would have to do, have you already?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Read anything. You're saying you're making a motion.
For us to go back and get clarity
Okay.
on both bids.
Scope of work.
And
Maybe
the total.
new bids.
What?
Scope of work.
Scope of work.
Yes, ma'am, that's a good word.
We certainly can.
That came from Dr. Cash.
Good word.
Maybe if we had something from both companies to compare apples to apples and just see what they're offering.
How long will
both
that take?
offering.
We can have it in 2 weeks.
Have it in 2 weeks.
How long?
When's our
2
work
weeks.
session? We could add it to our work session.
I didn't hear it.
We can have it probably back in 2
We
weeks.
haven't set a date.
Okay, so the motion is, you have it? Would you like to read it, please?
Motion to get the scope of work from both companies within 2-week estimated timeline.
Okay, that-
You don't have to get the timeline in there. The motion is to get the scope of work from both companies.
For Walker Valley High School
Walker Valley
bleacher.
High School bleachers.
Okay, that is the motion by Dr. Lovingood. Do I have a second?
I have a second that.
And Ms. Goins seconds that. Any further discussion? Miranda, would you call the roll?
Yes, Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I know that Mr. Drew is not going to come back for budget amendments, so Ms. Wilcox. And here again, we're going to take the budget amendments one at a time and vote on those after Susan discusses them with us. So budget amendment number 35.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So amendment number 35, and I will just preface this by saying I can't believe it's end of year time already. It seems like I was just here with amendments for the beginning of the year. That's just how quick time seems to be flying by. The first one is actually one that we come to you every year with. It's for salary adjustments that before year end we come up and we kind of true up all the salaries. The good news in all of this is that even though there's quite a bit of movement here, there is no new money. It's all coming from other salary lines. So it's just a matter of moving it to the appropriate line.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve budget amendment number 35 for salary adjustments?
I'll make a motion, we approve the budget.
Thank you.
I second.
Okay, I have a motion, and the second was by
Nancy Casey.
Dr. Lovingood?
Oh, well.
Nancy Casey,
Nancy Casey.
whichever. Okay, discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Number 36?
Yes, ma'am. This is simply to amend in $4,400 of local revenue for the choir. So you can just see it coming into revenue, and then we put it in the expense account for choir. You'll also see that every year as a reserve because that money cannot be spent for anything else.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve budget amendment number 36 for honor choir revenues?
Make a motion to approve budget amendment 36.
Have a second? Second, Mr. Taylor. Any discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Number 37?
Yes, ma'am. This is also one that you've been seeing for several years. This is money that has been collected through Teen Care Collections by our nurses. And so they have asked once again to pull out enough money to pay those nurses a stipend for the extra responsibility and work that they have done through the year. So it is, you can see on your note at the bottom how much is for the stipend, and then we're also pulling out $1,973.95 for supplies for our nurses. Again, that's all generated through TennCare. That is not regular taxpayer money used for that.
I make a motion to, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve Amendment 37.
And this is for TennCare nursing monies.
It is for a stipend for our nurses that was raised from TennCare, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And it was in a reserve. So this has been an ongoing collection that every year, if we have enough, they have asked that we pull it out to give them that stipend for their work. So this is coming out of our undesignated fund balance, but it's not actually money. It's money that was reserved at the end of the year that we're pulling back in so we can spend it.
Okay. Do I have a second? Second. Second, Ms. Kaysen. Any discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovinggood.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Number 38.
Yes, ma'am, and this one's very similar. If you remember at the retreat, we talked about TennCare money being raised for two different areas, nurses and SPED. And so this is money we're pulling out of the SPED reserve for TennCare money. And then you can see where she has designated that it goes on the expense side.
Do I have a motion to approve number 38 for TennCare special education monies?
I'll make a motion we approve TennCare money for special education.
Mr. Bryson makes the motion. A second?
Second.
Second, Dr. Lovinggood. Discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Dr. Jeff Lovinggood.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
39.
Yes, ma'am. This is money that we are amending in from the state for our learning camps for this summer. So you can see at the top where it's coming in, and then you can see all of that at the bottom is how that money will be spent, and it balances exactly.
Do I have a motion to approve number 39 for summer learning camps and transportation?
Make a motion to approve Amendment 39 for summer camps and transportation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's a discussion. Miranda, will you call the roll?
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovinggood.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Number 40.
Yes, ma'am. So this is money that we've already really talked about moving from 141 into 177 in anticipation of all these projects we're getting ready to start. And you can see down there that's basically to do the soft cost for any future building projects that the board decides to go to. After your work session, we'll kind of know exactly how that's going to be spent, but it will be for soft costs for those projects. And then there is a small amount that is going to be used for, well, it's not a small amount, it's $625,000 that's going to be transferred over there for the Bradley Central Vestibule project.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve number 40 for soft costs for upcoming capital projects and BCHS vestibule?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
Mr. Bryson, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Kaysen. Any further discussion? Miranda?
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovinggood.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Number 41.
This is just the flip side of what you just approved, where it's going to be coming into 177.
But because you take it out of one and put it into another, you have to have two amendments.
Exactly, they have
And
to be separate.
approved.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve number 41 for soft costs and BCHS entrance vestibule?
I make a motion for the budget amendment number 41.
Do I have a second? Mr. Bryson, any discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovinggood.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Budget amendment number 42.
And this last one is actually one you're not used to seeing, because if you remember, this is the first year for the operating budget for the PI Center. So up until then, it was all running through 177. So when we did the original budget, we had no historical data to go on. We didn't really know exactly what it was going to look like. So as with all of our other true-ups, this is our true-up. It's going to be much more accurate because now we've got all those months of history to look at, and we'd only had to guess on about 3 months instead of 15. So this is our true-up before the end of the year for Fund 145.
Do I have a motion to approve the amendment for the Pie Center?
I'll make a motion we approve the amendment for the Pie Center.
Thank you.
Mr. Bryson, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Kaysen. Discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Vicky Beatty?
Yes.
Nancy Kaysen?
Yes.
Josh Taylor?
Yes.
Ted Bryson?
Yes.
Rachel Goins?
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood?
Yes.
Amanda Lee?
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next item is approval of the recommendations by the Capital Outlay Committee. And I served on the Capital Outlay Committee as well as Mr. Bryson, Dr. Cash, Ellen Smith, Susan Wilcutt, and Chuck McKay. And we met on 2 different occasions, 3/19 and 3/26. And we did look at everything that was submitted to Dr. Cash's office. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bryson, the Vice Chair, to talk a little bit about the process.
I was at both meetings, and we saw the original list and went over it in detail. We called, when there was a question, we called the principals and asked, got them on the line. Whatever they were doing, they wanted to talk to us. And so we approved a bunch of stuff, but Dr. Caston, we're gonna go over it and finalize the money, make sure this is the amount of money we had, and bring it back to us and see if we wanted to make any changes. They brought it back. I believe we did make some changes after we talked to them, because when we talked to some of the principals,
They changed their minds.
yeah, it came down, which I did the same thing. If you tell me I'm gonna get $15,000 for this or $12,000, I'm gonna take $15,000. It don't matter what it is, probably. But I'm telling you, they did a good job, the principals did, in fighting for their money. They asked for stuff I wished we could have done, and we couldn't. In years past, we might, but that's what happens when you have a pandemic, you get a bunch of money, you gotta pay sooner or later, you gotta pay your bills. And that's what it amounts to. We're more back to when I was
Normal.
principal.
Back to
This is
normal.
about more like what we used to
Yes,
get.
sir.
And maybe every once in a while we'd take some money. We gave Lake Forest some money one year, I believe, in capital outlay or everything, and that was great. But in general, we try to spread it out as far as we can, and I think Dr. Cash and her, Ellen, and her staff, and Vicki did an excellent job. I was there making sure that's honest.
Dr. Cash?
It's a process that we follow. We always said, not that we want another pandemic, but we had lots and lots of money to spend and to work with, and now we are trying to serve our schools and give you the things that we think improve, and we're really looked a lot at safety, and everyone knows. We also looked at maintenance, and I think Bradley County does an excellent job with the approval of this board of keeping our buildings updated, trying to stay on top of things. We definitely take care of roofing, plumbing. Chuck does a great job, and so I would like a recommendation and a motion to approve the 24-25 capital outlay recommendation from the committee.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I don't think the county realizes how much Chuck saves. I didn't realize it before, but this year, after being in the meeting and seeing what he said his guys would do,
Yes.
that we were gonna have to pay for. And he does a great job, his staff does a great job, and you need to know he saves the county taxpayer a lot of money.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the recommendations for the 24-25 capital outlay?
I make a motion, we approve the capital outlay.
I have a motion by Mr. Bryson, a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Kaysen. Any discussion? Miranda, will you call the roll?
Nancy Kason.
Yes.
Josh Taylor.
Yes.
Ted Bryson.
Yes.
Amanda Lee.
Yes.
Rachel Goins.
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood.
Yes.
Vicky Beatty.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Our next item is letter of support for public schools. I'm going to defer to our TLN representative, Nancy Kason.
Okay, y'all just bear with me while I read this letter for you all. The Bradley County Board of Education is writing to you with sincere concern regarding the potential ramification of the Universal Voucher Program on public education. As representatives of both the Board of Education and the community, we believe it is imperative to thoroughly assess and the economic effect of diverting public funds to private schools. We feel it is crucial that any voucher program be characterized by openness, transparency, financial sustainability, and public accountability. Public schools are held to rigorous standards in terms of fiscal responsibility, and we question whether private institutions would be held to the same level of accountability under the current proposed legislation. Our paramount objective is to ensure integrity throughout the voucher program's legislative process and discussion. This entails establishing robust oversight mechanisms, transparencies in testing, instructional standards, and financial matters. Without such safeguards, the program risks susceptibility to fraud and would jeopardize the ability of public schools to deliver quality education to our students. Furthermore, historical evidence suggests that vouchers do not always yield superior educational outcomes or provide sufficient financial transparency to taxpayers. While we respect parents' rights to choose private education for their children, we maintain that such choices should be the financial responsibility of the parent rather than burdening the taxpayer. We fear the program will benefit mainly students whose families can already afford private school. Private school opportunities are already accessible through various means, such as endowments, financial aid, and scholarships offered by the schools themselves. Therefore, we advocate for the establishment of safeguards such as participation limits, income criteria, protections for all students' demographics, scholarship caps, and clear funding parameters. We appreciate your consideration of our concerns and believe our students deserve nothing less than the best educational opportunities available. We urge you to prioritize their well-being in your deliberations. Thank you for your attention in this matter. The Bradley County Board of Education. And at this time, Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this letter to go to the people that need to see our letter.
Okay, do I have a second?
Everybody, okay, everybody needs to see this.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bryson? Was it
Yeah,
Mr. Bryson?
be me.
Okay. Any discussion or questions regarding the letter? Dr. Cash?
Just for clarification, these will be sent to our legislatures as well as the chairs of finance and education.
And I'm finding out as our local liaison later that there are chairs in Nashville and sub-chairs and sub-sub-chairs and even sub-sub-sub-chairs. So it is amazing how many things this has to go through before it ever gets to the legislative floor. So we are going to be sure that this letter gets to everybody, even if they're a sub-sub-sub committee.
And I have served before as the TLN representative, but I want to say that and commend Ms. Kason. She has gone above and beyond.
Second best when you ever.
Second best to Mr. Bryson. But she has participated in conference calls.
great.
She's been, tell us some of the other things you've done, Ms. Kason.
Well, we Zoom about once every 2 weeks because the voucher, all of the voucher amendments that are out there in the Senate and in the House, we Zoom so that we know what's happening. And every 2 weeks it changes. In fact, it probably changes daily, but we only update about every 2 weeks. With a young man, Nolan Combs, who is new on TSBA staff, and he's doing a wonderful job of keeping me and all of the other legislative representatives aware of what's going on in Nashville. and I really do appreciate him. In fact, Dr. Cash and Vicki were with me one day when I had to call her. Dr. Cash asked me a question, I said, I'll find out. So I just called Nolan and I said, Nolan, this is your problem child from Bradley County. And he immediately knew who it was. But he did answer our question.
Yes, he did.
Right then, because one of our big questions we have had, and we will continue to have, is the financial part of this. Is it sustainable from our state legislature, and how much is it going to financially affect Brady County schools?
Thank you, Ms. Casey.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second. Miranda, will you call the roll?
Josh Taylor?
Yes.
Ted Bryson?
Yes.
Dr. Jeff Lovingood?
Yes.
Amanda Lee?
Yes.
Nancy Kason?
Yes.
Vicky Beatty?
Yes.
Rachel Goins?
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Our next item, announcements. The Board of Education will be conducting Director of Schools evaluation, contract review, and action on contract to be presented at the May board meeting. April the 20th, Bradley County Schools math meet at 9 a.m. And where is that?
Walker Valley High School.
Walker Valley High School. April the 30th, Bradley County Schools Roadshow at Lake Forest Middle School, 9 a.m. April the 30th, Bradley County Board of Education work session on the budget, 4:30 at the central office,
Yes, ma'am.
correct? Okay. May the 4th, STEM in the gym, where, and is that all day?
STEM in the gym is at the Pie Center. It's at the Vocker Commons. And I do not, it's Kirk here. I'm not sure of the start time. 9 to 12.
9 to 12.
And you really need to come. It's awesome.
Okay. May the 7th, Bradley County School System Retiree Reception at 4 p.m. here at this office. And then May the 7th, Bradley County Board of Education meeting at 5 p.m. Any other announcements that might have come up?
I might have the date, if anybody's here from Bradley, they might know. The FFA's having a banquet, I think, this month, but does anybody,
It is. I think, Dr. Wiggins, can you look that up for us?
what day is it?
She's
looking.
And Walker Valley's having a Navy ROTC.
I was thinking that
April
there were some
30th.
things on the
It's
30th.
the banquet for FFA,
FFA, what I thought.
6 p.m.
We won't
And
be-
you do have a work session,
Yeah,
Mr.
we-
Bryson, on the
That's what
30th.
State
I have to come to both of them.
It's at
You
the
have to come to
Tri-State
both of them.
Exhibition
Huh?
Ag Hall. It's at the Tri-State Expedition Ag Hall at 6 p.m. on April 30th.
Yeah, but it'd be
April
hard to
30th.
go to both. But they,
And Madam Chairman, we have Cherry's Jubilee next
Yep.
Friday, the 19th. And so far, every principal that's come through this room, I've asked if you all have a donation. We got a little competitive up here. Right now, Oak Grove's winning. But I hope that we'll have 100% participation again this year from our Bradley County schools. I
And it's
appreciate
Friday,
that.
what?
The 19th at 6 o'clock, and it is Cherry's Pie this year. We will be at the Pie Center. And Kyle and I
How
become really
cute.
good friends on this,
How
yeah. But we're working together, okay?
Thank you, Nancy.
Yes, thank you.
Our next item, agenda items for the next meeting.
okay, Jeff had a real good argument about, putting off that, finding out about the bid. Will we have to wait on the next board member to vote on that, or will we have, will you be able to approve it?
No, sir. What we will do is, as we get all the information and everything, we'll send that out to all of you. And if we're in agreement, we may ask for executive order, or we could call a special. But if we can get the correct information, we will at that time let you guys know and move from
We
that.
don't have to wait on
No,
that.
sir, you don't have to wait, but we don't, until we have the information, we don't know what to tell you. So, but no, sir, we don't have to wait, but we'd have to make two decisions, either one, to have executive approval, or to call a special called meeting for approval.
But we could do that when we get the information.
Yes, ma'am.
And I was talking about Chuck Bradley, Walker Valley are both big schools, and we try to help both of them. But we're doing, at Bradley, it was more money, but they went back and tried to negotiate.
Yes,
get
sir.
them- Same thing.
Same thing.
Try to
Yep.
get them to come down.
Yep.
Okay, anything else to add to the agenda for the next meeting?
Madam Chair, I have 2 items. One, I would like to add Waterville Community Elementary School GEO service contract. That would be the same thing that we've approved for the other potential builds. And then I would like to add an update on the PI leases. We have quite a few new PI leases coming in, and I would like for Mr. Page to update on those leases.
Oh, PI leases?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Not pie pieces.
I know what I thought.
Leases.
What is that? Okay, agenda items for the next meeting, Waterville Community Elementary School GEO services and the PI leases. Anything else for agenda items? Okay, we will add those to Ms. Refner. And hearing no others, this meeting is adjourned.
You're also tired.